We need to figure out the bandwidth.
The bandwidth. Welcome to a podcast about nothing with V.
And AD. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, got it.
See, we keep trying to get this thing
Technical
together.
difficulties.
We have a very special lady with us who has
Name
been
twin.
on the show before.
Right. We've never had 2 times, have we?
No, we haven't. Oh, you're first.
Right.
The very
Multifaceted.
special Adrian. Tell us a little about.
Love the name.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right.
You hate her. I love the name. So amazing.
Tell us about yourself.
So I'm a nerd, not offended by it. Like, I literally am probably in front of my computer more than I should be, but it's where I feel good. I get stuff done. But I am a network center engineer by trade. I've been in IT for 14 years. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm trying to make it through the teenage phase. So we just trying to get through it.
Just coasting.
Yeah, I'm about to say that I do website design in my own business, and I teach coding classes for kids at the county rec centers.
I just saw that. They're starting back
dope.
up, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping they get, so this is new for, PG County, like any government, they're a little behind in technology. I know that makes no sense because they got the money.
No, I understand that. You mean when you say slow in technology, like for programs and computers and what people
The
need.
programs, like they'll have but it's like moving forward to make things make more sense. Like we've been in the pandemic for almost a whole year. They haven't offered any classes. So this is their first attempt into offering anything virtually. Like they're not, they're nervous. They're like, is it going to be received? Because they don't do it and they're worried about how people are going to receive it, if people are going to sign up. Because then, of course, they're like, no one's signing up. Then we wasting funds.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I can understand that.
But I was like, it's a computer class.
They're going to be on the computer.
Sense.
Right. They're going to be on the computer.
I don't understand why this wasn't up first,
Yeah.
That makes it just makes sense.
It definitely does.
We'll see how this goes. I'm excited, though.
I'm excited for you. When I saw it on your social media, I was like, oh my gosh, she's teaching other little black kids how to do stuff on a computer.
Besides,
we didn't have that when we were kids.
Right. Like, and that's what I said. I didn't do, like, my goal wasn't to be in tech when I graduated. I still didn't know. I grabbed my diploma and didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I was like, thank you. Now what? I'm going to college, but for what? Had I known what that's what they were doing down in the computer lab, all I just kept saying is those weird kids over there in the computer lab.
Really? So this wasn't something that
you were judgmental. You said a little bit.
I was a teenager. I was a little bit. I was just like, they weird, but they were to a degree. Like they didn't talk to people. They literally minded their business, went to class. Like they did everything you were supposed to be doing and kept to themselves. Whereas the rest of us were kind of all over the place. Like I did my work, but we was in the hallway talking too much. We was in class cutting up. Like they did none of that. And then I was like, at that age, I was like, I didn't understand it. I'm like, you don't want to? No, they was just like, nope, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to class. Leave me alone.
So this wasn't something that was always in you.
I went wanting to be a school teacher, to a dentist, to
you have that's so funny. You
like,
have a voice of like a school teacher. Like I would listen to you in class sometimes.
You would listen to her sometimes.
You know how I was.
See?
Well, I'm just saying she has like a nice
every
soft
kid
voice.
is gonna, they gonna try you. So that's she's that kid. Like, all right, I like this teacher. After I done kind of push your buttons a little bit. All right, we cool.
We cool. But no, she has the voice like of a teacher you can listen to. That's so funny. I would have thought that.
Thank you. Let's hope this voice translates over this computer on Saturday. Because
it will.
I'm used to being in person and kind of leaning over their shoulders and helping them that way, which clearly I can still see what they're doing, but this will be a little different. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't.
So Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
CJ, can you hear us?
I'm about to say it, and it didn't say anything. It's about I didn't hear you. Like, I heard DJ at the end of it, so...
I was saying, DJ, stop using all the bandwidth.
Girl, I don't understand. Like, not one little...
Look, she checking stuff. How can I check my stuff?
Right.
What are you doing? My child doesn't want me to be great at all.
No child wants
Like,
any of us to be great, and that's just...
Oh, my God.
Yes. I don't even know how to check it.
Not even understand. I'm like, what are you doing in there? Like...
Running everything.
He's like, he's not even streaming. He's just playing. I'm like, nobody else is on. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, the internet's been, like, he'll complain about it lagging out from time to time, but I don't usually notice. I'm like, my work computer's still connected. People like, oh my gosh, it lagged out. I just died. Like, that's... So I guess it's my turn.
The other day, when you posted, you was like, do they have to be this loud when they're playing video games? I'm like, duh. Like, what do you mean? Of course they do.
Right, but when they come talk to you, like, I can't hear you. They're like, you're not this quiet when you play. There's a whole mic like right here. Why are you
yelling at? That is the funniest thing.
But it's because they all yell, so they're yelling over top of one another to be heard. I'm like, y'all ears don't hurt.
Mom,
I'm like, I'd have been
Mom,
like,
get with it. Get with it, Mom. Okay,
get with it. Like, okay,
he need better insulation in his room or something. I'm like, sir, he can hear you.
That is funny.
So what does it feel like being a Black woman, an African American woman, a woman of color in this IT tech field? Because it's not a lot of y'all.
It's lonely. And not in the sense that, like, I'm incredibly sad or anything. I'm disappointed, and not in the lack of, because there's women that can do the work. They're not hiring the women to do the work. And even being in a space and I'm doing the work, I'm still second guessed sometimes. Like, sometimes, like, I built myself up enough because I've been at the same company for the 13 years. So I've earned my voice. Like, they're like, okay, I can listen to her. Like, I'll go to Adrian, like, she has the answer. I know she's going to get it done. But getting that space is so hard. We'll be in meetings and I'll say something, and then a guy on the other end of the table will say, I'm like, I just said that. But they didn't question him. They'll ask me, well, can you give me a little more? Why you ain't ask him to elaborate? We just said the same thing. And it's just like, why do we have to fact check what I'm saying, but not him? Okay, he's been here for 20 years. Fine. I'm like, but he can make a mistake the same way I can too. Like, it's hard. And to get anywhere in IT as a Black woman, especially, someone has to advocate for you in some way, some form. Like, you have to have, and I'm not saying they're like, oh, I'm the one that hired you, but someone to speak up on your behalf, because I would not be in the data center had I not had a supervisor when I was at the help desk doing regular tech support say, hire her. Like, she literally, like, he was like, she wouldn't stop talking about you. She wouldn't shut up. And I was just like, she was an older white lady. Like, she was somebody's grandmother. Like, that's how, and she was like, go over there. She's like, give him hell. Like, she was like,
yeah.
She's like, you belong over there. She's like, you can't do anything else for us at this level. She was like, you've hit the ceiling. She was like, you can do the work. She's like, but you're going to be bored. She's like, then you might leave.
That's how they do.
Yeah, I have a cousin that actually was a teacher. She moved to North Carolina, but a private school in Virginia. I don't know. Some Catholic school, all-girls school in Virginia. And she was a STEM teacher. And they came to the studio and wanted to learn how to engineer and all those other things. But she spoke about how hard it was for just females in general, whether you're Black, white, anything, to like really progress in this field. And
it's a boys club. Like, it's, and I think, like, literally to this day, like, if we were still in office, they forget that I'm a girl when I'm there. I'm like, yo, like, ew. Like, well, he was like, oh, that's right, Adrian's right here. I'm like, yeah, you can't say that. You can't talk about your wife that way while I'm sitting at the table. Like, no, we can't go to lunch together. Okay, look, this doesn't work. Like, it's weird in a sense. Like, so last year, no, not last year, it's 2021. Year before last, I got to attend the Grace Hopper celebration, and that is an all women IT conference, and I was just so amazed.
Wow.
Like, there were thousands on thousands of just women, all women. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, so we're here, but that's still, if you put us in the middle of a men's conference, it's still not compared to, like, there was all women. That's and dope. I felt so much better. And then, of course, in the midst of that, I found a whole lot of Black women. I was like, like, it was like the greatest. I was like, oh my gosh, they do exist. Like, they're here. And even on social now, like on Twitter, like, also, like, we're out here, we're just so spread apart. It's not even funny.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I'm sorry. I noticed that over the last couple of years, I would say the last 2-3 years, as far as my attention span goes, that I've been noticing this push for Black women in the IT world and in technology. It's like blog posts, Clubhouse meetings, like groups on the internet. Everybody's just like Black women in tech. It should be a thing. So what do you think the stigma is as to why us as Black women have shied away from the industry? Because from what I'm understanding, it can be simple. It just, I know for me, it sounds complicated. So what do you think what do you think this?
Sounds more complicated than what it is.
Most definitely, because I just told her it sounds like you building computers, you figuring out the motherboard, you trying to piece it back together, and I'm like, I'm scared.
Some of us are, and that's another reason I teach, because I want the kids to see that that's not the only job. And there are there are some IT jobs that you don't even have to touch. The only computer you're touching is the one you're typing the emails on or auditing reports. Like, there's so many different ways for you to be in tech.
So can you break some of those ways down? Because I know for me, because my mind is so far gone when I hear IT, it's like professional way of saying something really simple. So what are some of the jobs that you've probably participated in, or that that are like have stigmas against them that it's like, okay, guys,
I think of UFOs and I'm just being
do you think so? I don't know, like, is artificial intelligence a part of IT?
Yes,
AI is. Yep.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Some Teslas.
Yeah, Will Smith and the people who were coming after him.
Wasn't that a movie? Something else. So
was that iRobot, or was it I Am Legend?
I mean, iRobot, I Am Legend, the robots, and he's a legend. So, hey, Will.
She is
crazy. Sorry, you do. I love you. Okay.
But no, that's it. It's people think it's just one thing, and it's a whole bunch of other moving parts. Like, there's UX, UI, and of course that sounds more complicated than what it is. User interface, the way you're interacting with an app or a website like that. There's somebody that just works on that, how the interface looks for the user. The UX person on the back end is working on how those buttons and different functions work together. That's just one part. That's two jobs, one part of IT. Of course, there's programmers, people that do code, so they don't ever touch servers or switches or motherboards. They're just like, let me write this code, hit execute, make sure this program works. There's
execute.
So coding is basically just how putting together a system to make a program correct, like operate.
Yeah, for the most part. But now that can be making the back end of a website work, making customized functions on a website. So talking to databases, there's tons of roles in IT. Like, I have a DBA that I work with. I couldn't tell if I said, Tracy, can you check? Tracy, she don't know what the motherboard looks. She don't want to hear that from me. And she's in IT. She don't want to hear it. But on that same vein, if I'm trying to set up my system, I was like, I need a database. She's like, well, just run this query. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, can you do it for me? Like, we all have these, there's so many different functions. You don't have to touch the actual computer. People build databases. There's people that run cloud infrastructure, which is servers without physical parts and things like that. But there's just app developers. I'm saying some of those, they're to the point where you don't have to actually use code to build apps now. So there's so many different avenues that you can get into. IT auditing, you don't have to touch anything. You're checking everyone else to make sure they're in compliance. You're in IT, you're not touching no computers, not pulling no wires, but you're in IT. So there's a lot of different things. Cybersecurity, which is actually the direction I'm going.
I've been hearing
that's a whole nother thing.
Too.
Making sure systems are secure. It's literally not just taking stuff apart and putting it back together. But I was that same way that's where I started. And it was easier for me to grasp because I'm that kid. You have to show me what you're trying to teach me and then let me do it.
That's me.
Otherwise, I'm not retaining nothing. I'm like, did you get that? I just did this. No.
Like people tell you what to do. Like, do this. You're
like all of the, what's next? You like 2 password things. Don't do this. Don't do that. On your little TikTok reel things. I'm like, and every time,
my reels.
Hold on. I pause. I'm like, wait, hey, you do. Adrian said, don't. So you're not supposed to save your password on your computer? He said, no, that's why I never save my password. I said, oh, hell.
Oh, you one of the ones save all the passwords.
I save everything. I don't. And she'd be like, this. Oh, what is it?
Two-factor authentication.
Oh, like your pet?
That's
why?
So if some other way to verify is you. So if someone else they get a hold of your login, they got your username, your password. They're like, okay, send this code to your phone so you can log in. So that's another way. You get the code, you're like, oh, that's not me trying to log in. Boom. But your account is safe. Whereas if it's just your username and password, you out of here. People literally gotten booted off their IG accounts. They're like, I can't get back in. You know them people ain't no help.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't help people. I think somebody was like, they asked her to write her name and like her username and today's date and send it to them in a picture. She said, how does this verify that I am who I say I am?
Yeah. The 2, she'd be like,
I can't even do those for y'all no more that way. IG took away my licensed music. I was like,
really? Oh, you gotta do it on TikTok. TikTok got all the licenses and TikTok then put it on Reels.
Too many security things for me. That side of me will not let me do it.
See, look at that.
They want too much information.
No.
Okay, so I thought I was the only one who felt kind of weird when apps ask for too much.
No, TikTok asks for too much and they're based in China. Like, as an IT person, I was
not no more, right?
Yes.
Not no more.
No, they just haven't been, they still trying to block TikTok. They just haven't been successful yet.
I thought, what's the name? Purchase TikTok.
Nope.
See.
She said, let me get off.
See.
That's the only, like, everybody's like, just make a TikTok. I said, the engineer in me will not allow it.
See, I always feel like, you know what? Accept. Y'all already got all my information anyway.
This is true, but in this age, like when they say your data is valuable, like it is. They are selling it. They're using it. Like you've seen with the election stuff a few years ago with Facebook just selling your information for them to target you. Like your data is valuable. So they may not be using it maliciously, but they're using it to help manipulate the content you see. So no, I was like, no, TikTok, we will not be partaking.
So what should people like watch out for? What should people be like careful of? Because I am a person who accepts everything. I'm like, accept.
You accept all the cookies.
I do, because I'm like, yo, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all these like social media sites, and I feel like you already have it. So what's the point?
But just like you're still giving them access to it. So then some things like with Facebook, like accessing your contacts, they don't need that.
Yeah,
they don't need that. I'm like, get out of my phone. Like they're already in there enough, clearly, because I'm going to be talking about something and see an ad for it in 5 minutes. And that's annoying. And I still ain't figured that one all the way out yet because it creeps me. I'm just
Siri.
Like,
I think I have, but we'll talk about that.
I know the microphone stuff has something to do, but sometimes like I've literally seen it where people haven't said
Yeah, I was about to say, that's happened to me before too.
Well, you haven't said it, but you thought about it?
Thought about it.
Right. And it's just...
And so it's popping up.
Yes, they have a lot of your info, but you don't have to continue to give them access. Like I say, unless it says it needs this to function, no, you don't need that. Unless I have to turn this on for me to use this app. And then I need this app. It's something like, do I need this? So I always look for like with the location stuff. I'm like, most apps, if it's open and I'm using it, then yeah, you can have it.
That's what I say, allow while it's open.
I do that
right.
as
And
well.
after that, it's bad enough. Apple Maps is always telling me where I'm going when I get in the car. It's like, oh, you're going to the store. Look,
right. Home is 22 minutes away.
Right.
Like, who told you I was going home?
Right. It's like, oh, you're going to the grocery store. Mind your business. Just because I don't go nowhere.
Because even the parked car thing throws me off. Like when I'm in Waze and I walk away from my car, it's like, your car is parked here. I'm like, how did you know that I just parked right here? And okay, I didn't tell you that. They're just like, well, I guess you stopped moving.
I can honestly say the one thing that actually freaked me out was I saw a Zillow commercial after looking at Zillow on my phone, and it was on regular cable. And we talked about this on an episode. I don't know what episode it was. And I was like, have you ever seen a Zillow commercial?
I've never seen it.
And he was like, no. And I was like, wait, maybe I'm tripping. But we had talked about Zillow. We were on the Zillow app for a while. And then all of a sudden we saw a Zillow commercial. And that's what freaked me out. Have you ever seen a Zillow commercial?
I've never seen one.
I can't say that
Zillow.
No.
Zillow of all things. I was like, you see that? And he thought I was tripping until we saw it again, like a couple of weeks later. And I was like, oh, they after us.
She whispering.
They after us. You got to whisper.
They nosy.
They are. So what do you do? Because like with all of these, especially with kids, like I feel like teenagers who have access to all of this stuff, you want to protect them, but it's like, how do you? Because I'm a person to just accept until you ask for my location. I'm like, decline.
Yeah.
For that. But you can have you have everything else, I feel like. But you have a 15-year-old son. I have a 16-year-old daughter. They're all over the internet. What do you do?
Talk to them. Like, that's literally all. I mean, short of going in their phone and like, hey, turn this setting off, but explain to him why. Because he's like, oh, you want to see my phone? Even though that don't fly. Like, because I pay for it. Mind your business. But, like explaining to him why. I'm like, don't do that. Or like, we're some places, I'm like, don't tell people where you are. If you share story, like, luckily he doesn't share stories like that. Like, honestly, we're in the phase of he just watches TikTok videos and comes and shows them to me. He's like, look at this, sir. What? But yeah, talk to them. That's literally all you can do. Educate them on what what your experience is. Because that's the only way
honestly, they had semi-parentals when I was, on TVs and on certain apps for me being like a teenager. And if I can break through those, these kids ain't got nothing on us. Like they're getting through everything. So that does sound like the best solution.
And then there's just an overexposure of everything on the internet. So it's like, I can't stop him from scrolling, and then he may see whatever. I'm like, I just, like, we talk about it a lot.
You do?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little weird. I'm like, what? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Like, what is this?
Right. But I'm
Damn, your son could never watch porn because you can look at everything. That's messed up.
I would be scared to watch anything in the house.
Why?
History.
I was that not, well, I still am that parent, but I had like the apps where I could see what he was doing on his computers, because his middle school, they started using Chromebooks for everything in school. So to make sure he was on task, because the poor teachers couldn't classroom control. She was like, we can't get them to not be in other tabs while I'm talking. I was like, so I could go through his browser history, like while I was like, sir. So like, it was to the point, like I would pick him up. People like, earlier today, that was not me. Someone took my laptop. I'm like,
poor
and I hadn't looked that day, but I'm like, what? I'm like, what were you doing? He's like, well, I was like, so I told him, I was like, pretend like I can see everything, even though I kind of can. I'm like, just act that way. Like I'm looking. I'm like, I'm not saying you can't be on the internet and be you. However, if it's not something you would share with me, don't be looking at it.
Yeah.
Like you can't say, oh, look at this. Why are you looking at it?
Dang. Like, she's one of those parents that be like, I seen your history. You nasty. You nasty.
And we clean it up. And we done been down that road too. So I'm just like, sir.
Well, I mean, you can't be telling him that though.
But like, it's like clean it up. Like not on the browser.
Nah, but he's like, that's a part of growing up. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but on your own private browser.
Nah, right. He's supposed to do it on his parents' browser. Like, he's supposed to do it on her browser. Okay? Like, he's supposed to do it on her browser. Who else, right? He can't pay for it on his own. Like,
no, but
Mom, stop being nosy.
A conversation though, because it's like, okay, why? Like we've had, I'm like, even though it was
what do you mean, why?
No, I want to understand, like, what is he feeling? Like, explain it to me, so then I can explain it to you.
Nah,
so it's not.
Let me write you. I'm gonna write you. I'm gonna write you a note and mail it to you. Ma, you too damn nosy. Stop. You gotta let him be. Like, he's a teenager.
And he is. Like, I'm not. Now it's just let me see your phone, because sometimes they just send wild stuff to people, and I'm like, you can't do that.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
See, that's what it is. The ads, the extras, the pop-ups. But
then it's some of the kids, like in middle school, they were airdropping like nudes to each other. So like in that regard, I need to know that, like, first of all, that's illegal. Please don't ever do that.
Right. That's different.
Right. Right.
Not on my server.
Right. I'm like, what you doing? Like, so it's like, he was like, yeah, he said they airdropped it to the whole school. He got exposed. I said,
we were just talking about that.
That is so crazy. I said the scandals that go on in high school because of these cell phones and social media is getting out of control. Like
that, and that's what I'm trying to make sure that he does. I'm like, I need you to have a good understanding so that don't happen to you.
Yeah.
You not caught up in it. I'm like, you go to jail. I was like, when we were younger, the worst thing, boys like, don't touch a girl's butt because, you get in trouble. I'm like, don't do this. You can get locked up. You get that's child porn. Like all those things. Like
it is a lot different. I agree with that. With Jaden, it's like so random. It'll be like 2 years, and I'll be like, give me your phone and unlock it, and then take the time thing off of it. Adrian and I went through her whole phone, everything. We was in a parking lot, like, damn it, she's not bad.
Right, she boring.
She's so boring.
She boring.
I mean, we were happy, obviously, but the most we found was that she had a potty mouth. That was it. Yeah. Well, she's had since she was very young, so we're not going to talk about that. But
I'm gonna say, look, that's not even like. Don't say it in here.
Right.
That's there. Hello. I'm taping a podcast, honey. You good? No, don't restart the Wi-Fi. I'm recording the podcast. See, look at you.
He ready to play the game.
We won't be long. We promise. We promise.
He lagged out. He like, look, now
like, I'm dead. Y'all over here talking.
How is What'd you say?
No, he was like, okay, I just told him just wait till we're finished.
How has he been remote?
Oh yeah, the entire time.
The entire time. How has that been?
He likes it.
Really? Jaden likes it too.
He said it's easier for him to focus because he is very much his mother's child. Will talk to anybody in class. Like no matter where they put him, he's gonna talk to somebody, find something to laugh about. Teacher's like, he's not paying attention. But I literally was the kid. I was in first grade. She put me behind one of those accordion folding things.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't. She was like, you won't stop talking. She's like, you talk to everyone. And then she was like,
oh, that's why you and Mo together. All y'all do is just talk to people all the time. Look, we'll cut this out maybe. All y'all do is just talk to people. Yes. Oh, that's cute.
It's easier. He misses his friends, of course, clearly, but
yeah,
he was like, he can focus. He's like, I can do my work. He's like, I'm comfortable. He's like, I do my work, go about my business. I was like, okay.
Is he a good student?
He is good. He's just got to push a little more. I told him, I was like, you right there. He was like, but I was like, you got to push a little more. I was like, I said, I get it. You don't want to do no more work. You're tired. I was like, I said, that little extra, they'll put you over the top. I was like, especially in classes that aren't your best classes. I was like, you got to always do the extra in a class. Why? Because that's going to keep you from being down here. I said, I was horrible in math. I was like, so any extra credit I could get, any extra free points, give them to me, because I may not, look, that may save me.
That is the truth. Mm-hmm. I was a pulled through at the last minute student for real. So
that's Jaden.
I understand that to the full capacity. Like, y'all got extra credit? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. What makeup assignments we have? Right. All of those.
End of the year, extra credit, everything.
And you always think like the IT, like you always think like you would be like these. You said nerd, and nerd has such a different like
connotation these days.
Yeah, it's right, not like, the same.
I made honor roll, but I was never like, they was like, don't you want to take AP? No, I do not. I don't want that level of pressure. I'm not technically, people think in IT you have to be good in math. You do not. I'm walking, talking proof of that. I ain't good at it.
That's what I was going to ask you. What kind of skill sets do you think will be good to enter into the industry of IT? Because you said you ain't good at math. I was like, I was kind of good. I might be able to get up in there.
Oh, no, you can definitely. So there's definitely an organizational aspect that you have to have to be able to manage the systems and things like that. But math is one. Having a good understanding of science is even better, though. Like if you excel in science, like it's easy to translate those skill sets to IT. Okay. Science, I enjoyed it. I don't remember if I was an A student, but I enjoyed science. So it made understanding my role, whatever that was, easier. Being able to read really well, because there's going to be terms that are unfamiliar to you, but they're not, if that makes sense. So it's bloated dictionary words that float around in IT. If you got a good firm literacy, you like, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
I know what they're saying. Like, so, because even in IT, you're still going to be learning and studying. Like, they're going to bring in some new software. You got to sit there. Like, okay, this is supposed to do what?
Yeah.
How does this connect to what we already have? Like, so you're always learning. So as long as you have a desire to learn more and to kind of a good set of study skills, like, you'll be fine. Math is not required. It's helpful. It's not required. At least not in my lane. They are,
because it does. It's so funny how you think of a certain word or a certain industry, and you're thinking like formulas, hard, and figuring it out, and difficulty. So that's cool.
No. I need to go find a teacher that said, you're gonna need this. No, I'm not. I need to go find her and say, I did not need it. You lied.
You should.
I don't need it. Right. I'm like, what class was that? But even in college, like, they made me take extra math. I'm like, why am I taking extra math? I'm not going to use this. She's like, I have my doctorate in math. Why?
That's how Jaden feels. Jaden was like, I want to do photography. Why are they making me take pre-cal next year? I don't want to do it. I don't want nothing to do with it.
She was nothing.
Because it doesn't
nothing.
make sense.
She was like, photography. I just want to take pictures.
Seriously though,
like, am I calculating the wind speed when I'm taking, like, what am I doing that I'm gonna have to use?
Look,
this difficult.
I was never good at school. I was like, maybe
not school, just the whole thing.
The whole thing, like kindergarten to 12.
I wasn't good at the whole thing. Look, getting up in the morning was hard.
My favorite classes were history and English. And English just because of books. Because they let me read anything I wanted to read.
That's true.
There you go.
History was a good class. Like, I didn't understand how I'm like, how are you failing this class? It's literally reading what's in this book and answering these questions.
Yeah.
There's no
That's it.
interpretation. Like
it was a lecture for me that I couldn't get with. Like people just
unless you have
all day.
like Black Panther parents that tell you a different history, that's how you fail. Because like if your parents tell you that's not how it happened.
No, I can't even lie.
That's
My mother
how you
is
fail, okay?
very fluent in French, and this was the time that we needed at least 2 credits of foreign language.
Tell me about your brother.
I almost failed French 3 times.
Yeah, but tell me about your brother though.
Oh, he took Chinese. It was bad.
Their mother is fluent in French.
I mean, she ain't helped me pass French either, is what I'm trying to say.
No. But you took French at least.
Oh, yeah.
Her brother took
Chinese?
Why?
I don't know.
Was it just to be different? He like, I don't want to take what y'all expect.
But his best friends are what?
Espanol.
And he took what?
Chinese. But if you know that you're doing
it's
business.
not if you know.
Full circle moment.
Nah.
You're doing business over there with them.
No.
With the Chinese.
The Chinese, you have 2 languages in Chinese.
Well, he doing the one with the strokes got to go downward, not upward.
See?
Because he was messing up in the writing. That's where he failed it. It's like you have to know which way the strokes go on the word and all of the. I didn't understand. But
Neither did he.
French and only remember like 2 things. So
yeah. Well, I was saying that and to say like having a parent who knows something and knowing too much. Because when you said the Black Panther thing, like, oh, my mom knows too much French and I failed.
So you don't even want her help.
Yeah, I didn't want her help. Like, I'm cool.
We sign language. No, that's all right. I'm good.
Oh, man.
My parents didn't know any of it. They couldn't help me with anything.
Anything.
My mom was good with the English. My dad literally could not help me with. He helped me fail something once. I was like,
"Oh my God, that happened to me too." Yeah,
I was like, so he said, "I helped you with your homework." I said, "Yeah, and see this grade right here, sir."
Yep.
No,
he tried.
That happened to me too. That's so funny.
That was the last time I said, I will stumble through this on my own, or go ask the teacher, can I stay late or something. This ain't it. Because she's looking at me like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, I got help," and he said, "She was like, no, this is wrong."
Damn. IT, huh?
Now, do you feel like it's something that somebody can make a side hustle or that you have to indulge yourself in? Like, you know, I feel like you can get into plenty of industries and just kind of dabble in, but this seems like something so much more strenuous, something you have to pay a lot of detail to, pay a lot of attention in detail.
You do to a degree, but like app development can be a side hustle. Like you don't have to do that. That's something you can learn independently and then build apps for people. You don't have to work for a company to do it. I'm sure you'll have more resources out the gate, but you don't have to.
Like building websites and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, but that's because my job is dry during the day. Like there is no creative anything. It's this is broke, fix it, or this doesn't work, fix it. Like there's no, it's very black and white in my day to day. So
what do you enjoy doing the most in your field?
She's like, enjoy. That's a thick one.
Making money.
No, but I do like, I actually, for as much of a headache as troubleshooting is, I enjoy that part because it means I'm about to learn something else. And I think like that's what holds my attention in IT because I'm always learning. So even if it's something small, it's something I didn't know yesterday or this morning. So I'm like, oh, that's why they behave that way. So I do like the ongoing learning part of it. I'm about to say day to day, that can, it depends. Like I'm all here for a quiet day and my system's running the way they're supposed to. Like, shh.
Yeah.
I guess, but yeah, I don't mind the troubleshooting part.
Troubleshooting is restarting.
I've been staring at a problem for weeks.
Restart your computer.
I was about to say troubleshooting is blown in the back of the video game, putting it back in there and pressing start. That's troubleshooting right there.
Put the cartridge back in.
Put it right back. That's troubleshooting.
Like you didn't do it right. Like,
damn.
It's not working.
That is
we
funny.
got Super Nintendo downstairs. Well, we got the new mini one that don't have no cartridges. So
I need an original Nintendo Super Mario Brothers. We have it on the Switch. It's just not the same. I need an original.
Why didn't you get the what's it, the classic one they re-released? Like
I'm sure they have a classic.
I didn't even know. See, you do.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me. See?
On purpose.
Mm-hmm.
On purpose.
On purpose.
On purpose. Mm-hmm. That's we divorced.
Oh God!
Sorry, just kidding. This is like the 10th
For
time.
video games, you sound like one of the ones with the PS5. Like, okay.
Video games, yes. Man, thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me.
We're going to have this conversation again because I think I have a lot more questions.
You know me, I've been catching new ideas. So I'm
she
trying
always
to get...
asking questions. Like,
No, because I've sat in plenty of rooms about Black women needing to join the industry. I've listened to plenty of podcasts. Well, not really, but I've listened to plenty of like interviews and people speaking about it. And it's just interesting to say that we know somebody in IT with it not being so difficult sounding. Like you broke it down for us. You're not, dealing with them.
And made it sound fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some days it is, and then some days it's like Rome is burning. Oh my God, why do I work here? Like this is not, because some days it's not an off switch. Like when my sister was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm working." She's like 6:30 at night. I was like, "I'm aware. Please don't remind me what time it is."
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to log off, but they don't care. And because everyone's remote right now, the pressure is definitely on us to show up and make sure things are working properly. Because it's like nobody else will do their job.
Yeah.
If we're not doing ours. So I'll be glad we can go back in the office to a degree. I do like being at home. I'm like, can we make this like a flex thing? Like we rotate who's in the office and then some of us at home.
Couple of days a week there, couple of days a week
I think that's a healthy environment for a lot of industries anyway. They should really consider it to keep people
And I really think they need to give money, funds to more people of color, women, men of color in this like IT field, coding, all this other stuff. Like Silicon Valley doesn't need to just look so goddamn pale.
It don't because we can do the work. We're doing the work.
I was about to say, you guys are doing the work.
Right. Like we need more of us to get in the C-suite. So the corporate level, like the people that are making the decisions, sitting at the table like, oh, well, who are we hiring or what should we do? Like we need people in those spaces, and those are hard because people don't leave. That's the thing. Like people, when they get in those levels, like they just sit there until it's time for them to retire. Like, go.
How do we create those? How do we create those positions for ourselves though? You know what I mean? Like we're always waiting, it seems like, especially in these type of industries. And I'm not in this industry. I know how to press record, you know what I mean? We had a recording studio, but as far as like for you and everybody else that's in these industries in Silicon Valley, getting these huge amounts of money to make this shit work, like how do we infiltrate this to what do we need to do?
I wish I knew. Like, we have to get Silicon Valley to see that there's a problem. Like, they really but there's such just like with this country, there's such a underlying, this is how we feel, this is how we're going to move.
And
the people that are in the top spaces, like, they make it impossible. Like, I know you've seen, like, the stories about coming out from Google, how they've ousted people that have advocated for diversity. Like, they make it impossible to affect real change at that level. If the culture of the company, of the overall is just toxic and that's how they are, there's an undertone of racism there. Like, it's hard. It's really, really hard. And especially if they bring in people for diversity and they literally undermine them at every turn. Like, there's somebody that's supposed to be helping create diversity and you're literally it's for show. It's okay, we're going to create this position, put you in it, but you're essentially ineffective. We're not going to let you really do anything.
It's like just to say the show Insecure is what she went through.
Yeah.
What Issa Rae went through, what Molly went through, and her, you know.
Right. They just have you there for show. I'm just like, it is.
To reach their numbers. That's what that lady did for her.
Affirmative action.
Pull Up and Change, the little campaign that everybody had to show their diversity numbers. And I told you that I noticed a really big similarity in a lot of the companies, with it being literally between 7 and 13% of Black people or people of color in positions, and let alone in positions of management or able to make any decisions. And that Instagram page is still up and running because I believe that she's still running the campaign so people can see. But that just brings me to the idea that we need to create urgency around it, just like we do anything else, and I'm not going to say cause ruckus, but
cause ruckus.
We have to, this one.
I was about to throw everything off.
Band together, you know what I'm saying? And just get an understanding. So actually getting insight from somebody in the industry is a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Man. Thank y'all for this conversation. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I think more of this needs to happen. Of course, we're gonna have you on the show again, and then next time I'm really gonna throw shit. When we have some more money, I'm gonna throw. You
gotta have like prop stuff to throw. You can't throw the mic
like the plastic.
I can't throw the mic.
You gotta have a plastic.
No, you gotta get some plastic stuff to throw.
No, this is.
Oh, she said I got money. She wants to break the real stuff.
No, I ain't got shit. Look, okay, let's keep these. Let's be mindful, okay. Thank you so much. Please tell the people where they can find you. Anything you have going on right now.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Chic Diva Geek. I'm clearly on Instagram more, but I do tweet. I'm on Clubhouse. I think it's Chic Diva Geek there too, but I'm not in there very often. I'm a lurker. Like I go in rooms to listen. I don't speak because there's some actually really good tech conversations happening on Clubhouse. So kudos to them. I wish they would put like time limits on some of these rooms because like I can't sit in no room for 7 hours.
Another day.
I'm like, why does room still open?
15. You go to sleep, wake up, they still in the room. Ooh.
Right. Somebody done passed. They like here. They made them moderator and left.
Right.
I'm like, what is happening?
For real.
Why are y'all still talking? But it's really good combos happening there. So my website is www.chicdivageek.com. You can shoot me a message from there, find out about my website design, business. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
And we'll put all the information down there, over there. We still trying to figure it out.
Wherever we got it at, it's going to be around
here.
It's
going to pop up.
It's going to be around here somewhere. All around. Thank you so much. And much love to you and the family.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Yeah,
y'all too.
We trying down here. We trying.
Please stay safe down here.
We trying. Have a good one.
Go let him play his video games, okay?
Y'all too. Right. We got to reboot the whole router.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.